If I close my eyes forever, will it all remain the same?
Entering the 12th house. I don't owe clarity to the world that fears mysticism. I'm coming home, naked, messy, without a need for coherent structural explanations. This house is deeply sensitive. This house is deeply profound. For God's sake, I was 6 the last time I was in this house. How does it feel like to be in this house? This house fits everything in, and yet you're no longer able to hold on things you've been holding on before. You're just not able to. Because this house is very raw. It's very unapologetic. It's like this space of white cosmos, before it catalyzes into this one concrete persona, which is the first house. And before the first house, right before the 12th house, you start rebelling against the norms represented by the 11th house. So you are in this very interesting junction of two intense houses, one of rebellion and one of becoming oneself. But personally, I believe, and I would say, that you truly find yourself in the 12th house, not in the first one. You really do find your true self that is too wide to be represented by this one persona. It is too wide to be identified with some sort of social movement or norm. You really do come in touch with yourself. Now you need space for that. You need space, acceptance. Finally, you need to feel and accept that you are God yourself. Even though your intellectual mind says, no. Maybe I'm just a part of it. I'm not the God myself. No. It can't be true. Something shifted in me before this transit. While praying, I used to feel like stepping up to reach God, right? To embody Him. Now when I pray, I feel that the prayer doesn't go that much up, it goes downwards. I'm not stepping onto my toes, but I'm settling down, sitting down to feel the profoundness of God in me. That is the 12th house. Of course, I must admit I was scared of it. Why? Again, from the traditional astrology viewpoints and suggestions, there are a lot of bad things happening with this house, like losses, for instance. But what will I have to lose? Anything tragic will happen? I think mostly it's interpretation of those who resist this inward movement, and then something shakes them up. Otherwise, I'd say it's just the loss of the mask that you've been wearing for over 20 years. There was a mask of this, there was a mask of that. It's like you don't have any more strength to hold upon these masks. So you lose something you're no longer able to carry. Another scary thing besides the loss is becoming a martyrdom, represented by this 12th house usually. Because in this raw and fragile state, when you're no longer part of some sort of social movement and you're not that strong, bold self yet, can be easily tossed around like a coin, like you're like air, which is so fluid, which is so intractable. You can be locked into any shape or form. You can be blown away, you can be kicked around. And then the need of boldness comes in. But not the kind of Aries style of boldness, but I would say a Pisces kind of boldness. The boldness of a mystic. The boldness of a misfit or a weirdo. It's hard to speak, but I can help myself mentioning the revered late Ozzy Osbourne. Unapologetically himself and true. South Node Scorpio in the 12th house. That is the Prince of Darkness in a nutshell. What can I say? Well, I'm profoundly inspired by his boldness, by the way he just carried himself, like starting this new movement in music. Myself, I'm seemingly totally different personality, right? Outwardly. But inwardly, I think I'm the same. And we are all the same. Because in his whole heart, in his soul, Ozzy represented this 12th house. The house of consciousness, the house of cosmic womb, a womb that we all abandon, wearing these heavy masks, colorful masks. And it doesn't matter where we are in the circle of houses, where are we progressed. We are all longing for this house, because this is the house of truth. The ultimate house, the house of release and the house of birth before the physical birth takes place. Ozzy represented this house to the world, unapologetically, with powerful and deep music. It's dark, yet it is deep. It's boundless to me. You could not nail Ozzy down. And yet, could you imagine how could it feel like to represent the invisible to the visible? How could it feel to translate the hidden house to the whole world? To translate such depths of your soul? And of course, Ozzy was wearing a mask of a drunken, maybe of a clown, of a prince of darkness. Whatever. Doesn't matter anymore. He had his image. But he was translating this house. He was channeling it. And that's why we love him so much. That's why we miss him. It definitely took a toll on him. You can interpret drinking in various ways, as a way to escape or entertain yourself or have fun. I do believe that he was numbing the intensity that he was channeling. He was numbing himself so that he could keep playing, keep creating. So who are we to judge his alcoholism or drug addictions? So remembering Ozzy and being inspired by him, I ask myself, am I able to be as bold as a woman, right? I'm talking about protecting, right, this sensitive Piscean nature, right? How do I do this if I don't wear this mask of a musician or clown or a drunken? How do I claim my right to exist without wearing those masks that I've just put aside? Was it a mask of education or public career, whatever, or mask of relationship? How do I? To me, this house is profound. It brings me to my soul, my Piscean soul. And with it comes all the wounds of being misunderstood, not fitting in, feeling completely alien. And this house makes you face the core reason of this alienation and other problems such as not having family, relationships, stable resources, and etc. Entering this house, I come to the core. It screams to my face, and instead of going to separate venues of life, right? Let's say, how do I attract relationships, money, all these famous themes circling around the internet. These are just the faces of all those other houses, those masks that are all dissipating, running down like sand, unessential. And you come to the core. Come to the core that in this boldness of this house, you simply do not fit in. You might have fitted in before when you were wearing a mask, but now it's just not your reality anymore. It's just so loud in your face and in your ears. It's just not your reality. Simply see through another lens, and at the same time, I realize that this separation is only an illusion of the 12th house. The seclusion that often is describing this house is not this house itself. So whenever we hear the descriptions of the house, we should really clarify, are we talking to the essence of the house or some sort of shadow distortions of it? I realize that this house in itself doesn't suggest isolation. We are mirroring the isolation superimposed on us by the society, other people, right? And I really face it, I really feel it in my bones. At work, for instance. Loudly or silently, I hear comments. You're too imaginative, you're too spaced out, too difficult to grasp, or whatever. Pisces is fluid. Pisces is mutable. It can adapt. It can wear a lot of masks, masking all this deep, profoundly sensitivity. It will try walking into others' houses, but who will walk into the mystical house of Pisces? And that is more profound and concerning. An isolation from oneself rather than isolation from society. Because more likely than not, Pisces is the one mutating and yielding. So again, we take this Pisces or the corresponding 12th house, inherently it is not isolation, it is totality. And you need a lot of compassion for those who project onto you, so that you don't fall into this isolation scenario. This house can make you so compassionate to life and all the masks we have to wear to go through the circle of life. Oh, what a house to rest and put all these masks aside. Before you take the first mask again, and here the circle of life begins again. So take this transit or progression as this beautiful resting moment before again putting some sort of mask on your face. Try to find something, that core essence that should thread through all these masks while you're in this transit, so that when you wear them, you don't lose yourself, don't lose your connection to the essence, to the divinity, to God. So yeah, don't try to make anything special of this house, like you must meditate or create, right, or process dreams or whatever. First of all, just rest, especially at the beginning of this progression or transit. Just rest. Heal your wounds. Most importantly, heal the projections thrown upon you. The residues of masks that are like imprints on your face. Clean it off. Clean it all off. Just rinse it off. And feel it. Feel the intensity of this house. You will expand beyond words if you really allow yourself to feel this intensity. And it doesn't matter actually what will happen in your life. It doesn't matter that much. This moon in the 12th house is your soul, is your core for now. So drink this progression in, just feel it. And if you're ever gonna start doubting yourself that it's nonsense, all this 12th house, mysticism or weirdness or being a misfit, just remember someone you look upon to. Someone who represents this unapologetic truth to you. To me, for now, it is Prince of Darkness, slowly walking me through this darkness with his music. Just take care, just be strong. Just be strong.
You gotta close your